In this tutorial, I will teach you how to pass the Police Detective Constable Briefing Exercise. I will show you what assessors are really looking for, the biggest mistakes that candidates make, and a simple structure that you can use to deliver a clear, professional, high-scoring briefing. Plus, I'll also share a way for you to download 7 realistic full-length briefing exercises and the fully worked answers. Now, let's start off by looking at why most candidates fail. Now, most candidates fail because they describe the documents. The biggest mistake is reading through those documents and then simply repeating what they say. That is not a briefing. A strong candidate identifies what is really happening, what matters most, what the risk is, what action should be taken, and what needs escalating to the detective sergeant. So make sure you brief the risk, priority, action, and escalation. What do I mean by that? Well, we'll come to that later on in the tutorial. First, let's look at what is the briefing exercise. Well, in this exercise, you are normally placed in the role of a police constable or a trainee detective constable, and you're given information to review, such as documents, updates, statements, emails, reports, or intelligence. You must then respond professionally by preparing clear verbal briefing for a senior officer, and you're expected to deliver this verbal briefing during your assessment. Now, the exercise is testing whether you stay calm, analyse information, identify risk, and communicate your recommendations clearly. So you should cover the issues, the priorities, actions, risks, safeguarding, and any escalation if you feel it's needed in your answer. What are assessors really testing here? Well, they want to see if you can identify the main issues, whether you can prioritise what matters most, spot risk and vulnerability. That's very important, and I will come to that later on. If you can recommend any practical actions, stay evidence-led, and communicate clearly under pressure. Now, do not try and sound clever or use complicated policing language. That's not what's expected of you during this assessment. Instead, the strongest answers are always clear, structured, and practical. You need to show good judgment, public service, respect and empathy, courage, ownership, and critical analysis. As you're probably already aware at this stage of the process, you're expected to adhere to the CVF, the Competencies, Values, Framework. It's really important. All policing staff are expected to adhere to those competencies and values. Make sure you read them, you study them, and you look at how you can always apply them within your work and within the assessment centre. So the 5-part passing structure, this is a brilliant structure to help you pass the briefing exercise for the DC assessment. I recommend you consider using this structure. Here it is. You start off with the issues. You then move on and talk about priorities. Thirdly, you talk about the actions you would take or you recommend. 4 is any risks and safeguarding. And 5 is escalation if needed. This is the structure I recommend you consider using in your briefing. If you follow this order, your answer will sound more organised and professional. Plus, it also makes it much easier for the assessor to award you marks because you're covering the key areas that they are listening for. Let's now break down this structure step by step so you can see how useful and powerful it can be to scoring top marks. And don't forget to stick with me as I'll be sharing a briefing exercise example later on in this video. And I'll also tell you where you can get instant access to full mock exercises and the fully worked solutions. So let's start with step 1. Identify the main issues. Ask yourself, what is really happening here? Look for victim vulnerability, repeat offending, escalation, evidence that may be lost, public confidence concerns, or immediate threat or harm. This is what you need to be looking for in those documents that you are presented with. Do not treat the first document you see as the whole case. The most important issue is often hidden across several updates. For example, a theft might actually be targeted intimidation. A fake social media account might include offline risk. A financial concern might involve exploitation of a vulnerable adult, for example. Let's now move on to step number 2. Prioritise correctly. Your first priority should usually be protect life, protect vulnerable people, prevent any further harm, preserve time-sensitive evidence, and stop an offence happening right now. Common mistake is prioritising easy admin tasks first. In a detective briefing, you must focus on what could cause harm if delayed. If there is a vulnerable victim, a child, a live suspect, attendance, CCTV about to expire, or an immediate safeguarding concern, that should be near the top of your briefing. Step number 3, recommend actions. Do not say, I would make inquiries. That's simply not strong enough. Say something like this instead. I would secure the CCTV before it is lost. Contact the victim to assess immediate safety. Update the DS and check whether this links to similar recent offences. This may sound obvious, but generic answers will lose you marks. Strong candidates recommend specific, proportionate actions. Every action should connect to the risk. If you identify a risk but do not say what you would do about it, your briefing will sound incomplete. Now, just very quickly, before we move on to step number 4, which you won't want to miss, if you actually want to really prepare properly, I strongly recommend getting the Detective Constable Briefing Exercises workbook by clicking the link in the description or in the pinned comment below this video on the website howtobecome.com. It includes 7 full-length briefing exercises, fully worked answers to each of those exercises. It's regularly updated to ensure that it matches the latest national recruitment processes and CBF. It's an instant download, and you also get 30 days money-back guarantee on it. So if it's not right for you, you can get a full refund. At How to Become, we've been helping candidates like you for over 20 years now, and we are leaders in helping people prepare to pass recruitment processes like the DC Direct Entry and online assessment centres. We want to help you succeed too. And that is why we've put our best content into our guides, previously only available to candidates who had one-to-one coaching with us. This really is a game changer for your preparation. Okay, let's get back to step number 4, which is risks and safeguarding. Always consider the following things. Is the victim vulnerable? Is there a child involved? Is someone being coerced or intimidated? Could the suspect return? Could the evidence be lost? And could this be part of a wider pattern? Detective work is not just about proving an offence. It's about protecting people. Safeguarding is often where candidates miss marks. If someone is elderly, young, isolated, frightened, being pressured, or changing their normal behaviour because of fear, make sure you mention it in your briefing. And finally, step number 5, escalation. Escalate when there is immediate danger, for example, a vulnerable victim, a child safeguarding concern, a linked crime series, a suspect likely to return, significant community concern, or time-sensitive evidence. You should not escalate everything, but you must know when the detective sergeant needs to be updated early. Escalation shows judgment. It tells the assessor you understand seriousness, risk, and the need for supervision or coordinated action. Okay, let's now apply this 5-step structure to a realistic detective constable briefing scenario. Now, here is the sample scenario for you. This is a mini scenario just to give you a bit of a taster. A 65-year-old man has received repeated calls from someone claiming to be from the police fraud team. He has prepared his bank card in an envelope because a man may be coming to collect it before noon. There have been 3 similar courier fraud reports locally. So this is the kind of scenario where candidates often miss the urgency. This is not just a fraud report, it's a live risk involving a vulnerable older victim and a possible link series. Now, let's take a look at a model briefing opening that you could provide for this type of scenario. Sergeant, my assessment is that this is a live courier fraud risk involving a vulnerable older victim. The immediate priority is to protect Mr. Hell and prevent the bank card being handed over. The risk is time sensitive because a suspect may attend before noon, and the victim has already prepared the card for collection. Notice how this gets straight to the point. It does not list every document. It tells the detective sergeant what the case is, why it matters, and what the immediate priority is. This is how you sound like a future detective constable. Now let's continue the briefing. My recommended actions are urgent contact with the victim, reassurance and safeguarding advice, consideration of an immediate response to the address, liaison with the bank, and checks against the 3 similar recent reports to establish whether this is part of a wider pattern. Now, this part of the answer is strong because the actions are specific. The candidate protects the victim, preserves the opportunity to identify the suspect, works with the bank, and thinks beyond one isolated incident. Now, this is just a cut-down example. And like I said, if you want to get the full mock DC-style briefing exercises with plenty of documents in the scenario and the fully worked answers to each briefing exercise, you can click the link in the description or in the pinned comment below this video at any time and head to my website, howtobecome.com. Let's now take a look at a brilliant way to strengthen your report. So here are some strong phrases to use. Consider using phrases like, my assessment is, the immediate risk is this. This may indicate, I would not assume this is proven, but my priority would be, I would update the DS because. These phrases aren't essential, but they help you sound calm, evidence-led, and professional. Avoid jumping to conclusions, and you can identify a concern or possible link without treating it as confirmed fact. Now that leads me to some common mistake that many candidates often make. I hear that candidates try to make these mistakes all the time when I'm mock interviewing them and mock assessing them during our one-to-one coaching sessions. Avoid these common mistakes. Repeating documents in order, giving vague actions, missing vulnerability, ignoring time-sensitive evidence, jumping to conclusions, forgetting escalation, and speaking without structure. The briefing exercise is not a memory test, it's a judgment test. If your answer sounds like a list of documents, you're not briefing properly. You must interpret the information and explain what needs doing. Now, here is my suggested 25-minute preparation method. It's a brilliant way that you can prepare for briefing exercise when the documents are presented with you, because you get 25 minutes during the actual exam to prepare before having to deliver the brief. Now, based on the candidates we have helped, we have developed this brilliant 25-minute preparation plan that you can consider using for yourself or adapting it to whatever suits you. First, read. Understand the scenario. So read through all the documents and understand that scenario fully. Then on your second read, mark risk, evidence, vulnerability, and urgency. Then do your final notes. Use those 5 headings, that 5-step structure we looked at earlier. Then practice your first 20 seconds. Now, why do I say that? Well, your first 20 seconds delivering your brief really matters. That is where you show the assessor that you understand the situation. Before you start speaking, make sure your notes are organized under issues, priorities, actions, risks, and escalation. I feel that will really help you. Make sure you practice it, try it for yourself. If it doesn't work for you, that's absolutely fine. But we have found this to be a really useful strategy for the candidates that we have coached. Now, here is a final checklist. Before you finish, make sure you have answered this during briefing exercise. What is happening? What matters most? What action is needed now? Who is at risk? What evidence could be lost? And what does the detective sergeant need to know? If you cover these 6 questions, your briefing will be much stronger. This will help you stay focused, avoid rambling, and show the judgment expected of a future detective constable. So the next step to accelerate your preparation and to make you the standout candidate is I strongly recommend getting that Detective Constable Briefing Exercises workbook that I mentioned earlier by clicking the link in the description or in the pinned comment below this video and heading through to my website, howtobecome.com. As mentioned earlier, this powerful training resource includes 7 full-length briefing exercises. Each briefing exercise has plenty of documents. We've tried to make it a realistic practice resource for you to practice those exact skills and qualities that you need to demonstrate during the real thing. You'll have fully worked answers to each of those exercises so you can learn it regularly updated to ensure it matches the latest national recruitment processes and CVF. It's an instant download for you that you get to keep forever. Plus it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Oh, and if you need help with the DC in-tray exercises, We have a full workbook on that also. Just head through to my website, howtobecome.com, where we will help you stand out from the other candidates. Whatever you do next, remember this. Do not just describe the case. Brief the risk, priority, action, and escalation. Also, make sure you practice out loud and under timed conditions. That will really help you, because remember, this is a verbal exercise, and those time conditions help you prepare for that pressure that you will feel on the day and get used to it. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible pass their job interviews and assessments. And if you found this useful, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel and it motivates me to keep creating more free content like this for you. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, just let me know in the comment section below. If you've got a question about this selection process, let me know in the comment section below and I will reply to you personally with extra interview tips, assessment tips, and advice. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you every success in your Detective Constable briefing exercise and assessment process. Thank you very much. You've got this.